First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Your plan encourages tear-downs and a complete change in character of our existing neighborhoods.
The east side of Gainesville, a lot of that property is going to be shifted from those folks. They don't deserve that.
It'll be up to the suits to stop you, and I hope they do.
You're not doing what the electorate is telling you to do.
Thank you very much.
Despite a parade of angry residents, the Gainesville City Commission pushes to end exclusive zoning of single-family home neighborhoods. Good evening, I'm Alexus Cleavenger.
And I'm Kennedy Mason. Thanks for joining us. Our team coverage starts with Maria Victoria Camacho and more on the controversial vote itself.
All the arguments didn't change any minds. Another 4-3 votes mean the policy now change unless a future commission reverses course. Gainesville City Commissioners on both sides feel passionate about the issues involved, from preserving neighborhoods to doing something about affordable housing.
For Black people in this community, this is a sad day.
It's a slap in the face.
Yes, it is a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face. You come to our community, you want us to vote for you, you march in our churches, then you come up and you do this to undermine the Black community, and that is what is happening.
Yes.
I'm not voting to bulldoze your home. I'm not voting to do anything to your physical home. That is your home. But if your neighbor sells their land and somebody wants to bulldoze that, now as the new owner, and build something bigger and better that can benefit the community a lot better than 1,000 square feet of not at all efficient housing into something that shelters multiple people, I consider that a job well done.
Gainesville is the first city in Florida to make this change. Of course, there were already zones with multi-unit houses, apartments, or a mixture, but more than 60% of the residential parcels are in zones where the design was to exclude anything other than single-family homes. For more details about the story, visit WFT.org. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. Our team coverage will dig deeper on what this means for particular neighborhoods.
Yeah, our WUFT's Fareeha Abrar spoke with community members today and joined us live from City Hall. Fareeha, what did you learn?
Yeah, you guys, the biggest topic coming out of City Hall right now is about zoning. As you mentioned earlier, Gainesville is the first city in the state to approve this new change, despite a large public opposition. I spoke with many neighbors in these zones who lived there for many decades about this new change, and they shared their thoughts with me.
It's heartbreaking because I was able to see my grandparents that were brought here and built these houses.
Like many of her neighbors, Yvette is upset about the Gainesville City Commissioner's vote to approve the elimination of single-family zones. The woman who didn't want to be identified has lived her whole life in the Porter's Quarters community.
It hurts me because my grandkids in maybe 20 years, they not even gonna know, but their children not gonna know where they come from.
Her father died in the home at 104 years old. He'd lived there since he was 12. Her family created their legacy here. That makes them even more apprehensive to leave.
My daddy died, and I know that he would be hurtful to see what has gone on over here.
Gainesville resident Debbie Alexus believes the elected officials made a hasty decision.
They want to make Gainesville the first, and I'm not sure that they added the best.
Mayor Lauren Poe has talked about how the city's housing crisis has policies rooted in racial segregation. But members and neighbors from these communities tell me that they don't want to leave the homes that they've lived in for decades. They tell me that they're concerned about gentrification.
I think that they are not necessarily aware of what they voted for and the possibilities that exist.
How does that make you feel?
I'm going to vote.
Don't tell us no lie about what you're doing.
Yvette doesn't have a problem with additional affordable housing. It's the approach.
Every time you turn around, they send in letters. They want to buy, they want to buy, they want to buy, and it gets so aggravating. I mean, you already coming.
But the neighbors are just as persistent.
I mean, it ain't like we just gonna give up, because we would never do that, because it's our neighborhood, and it's a nice neighborhood to live in.
Now, many neighbors complained that they didn't feel like they were heard at yesterday's commissioners' meeting. Some even complained that they didn't feel like they were heard because it was intentionally inconvenient for them to be scheduling a meeting at 3 p.m. in the afternoon during the middle of a workday. Reporting live from WUFT News, I'm Fareeha Abrar.
Thanks, Fareeha. This hot button issue is sure to come up in our Gainesville mayoral debate. WUFT is teaming up with the Gainesville Sun for a debate between runoff candidates Harvey Ward and Ed Bilarski. The UF Levin College of Law will host the event 1 week from today. You can see about getting tickets to attend through WUFT.org. You can also submit potential questions by emailing GainesvilleVoice@gmail.com. The debate will be carried live on WUFT-FM, our website, and the newspaper's website. Tonight, we'll bring the only debate between U.S. Senate candidates Marco Rubio and Val Demings. WPBF is hosting from the Lake Worth campus of Palm Beach State College. You can listen to the 1-hour debate on WUFT-FM starting at 7 tonight.
Well, I'm ready for some cooler weather that'll come tonight. How about you, Kennedy?
I am so excited for that cooler
Yes.
weather. I really am. I need to run to the store, though, and get some thicker sweaters.
Yes.
For sure. Let's check with Derrah Getter to see how cold it might get tonight.
Well, you definitely do need to bring out the thicker sweaters tonight. Gainesville's all-time daily record low in 2001 was set at 42 degrees, and tonight our forecasted low is 42 degrees. Right now outside of our studios, mostly cloudy skies, lots of overcast out there. Temperature 73 and it feels like 72. Wind speeds across North Florida almost in the double digits across the board. 13 miles per hour in Bronson, 11 miles per hour in Gainesville and Stark, and 12 miles per hour in High Springs. Over the next couple of hours, we are on a steady decline. Right now, we're in the low 70s, but we're trying to get to our all-time low of in the 40s tonight. We have quite a ways to go, and I'll have more on how cool it could get in my full forecast coming up. Back to you.
Thanks, Derrah. The forecast is cold enough for the city of Gainesville to begin its cold night shelter program. Grace Marketplace will be able to serve extra people. The same is true for St. Francis's House, a shelter for families, women, and children. The program is in effect whenever the temperature falls below 45 degrees.
Several other states are facing record lows for this time of year. NBC's Jay Gray has the big picture.
An early blast of Arctic air bringing snow across the Great Lakes and Midwest, stretching as far south as Kentucky. Significant accumulations in some areas making a mess. The conditions, anything but a holiday for those dealing with the storm.
It just ain't right. It's not Halloween yet and it already feels like Christmas, man.
Flakes piling up, pulling down trees and electrical lines, leaving tens of thousands without power, clogging up roadways.
We have hard times for our plows to get through.
Forecasters say the system will continue to push south. Farmers already dealing with drought.
We feel like our crop was down probably about 30%.
Now scrambling to harvest what they can ahead of the frost. While flames continue to cause problems across the western U.S.
The fire's up on a ridgetop, and the winds just came in and just took it.
Wildfires ravaging parts of Washington state and California, forcing families in their path to rush to safety.
We had already been prepped with kind of personal belongings in a go bag, but I just felt the time that it takes to offload farm animals, we needed to start getting them gone now.
Millions across the country doing what they can to try and escape a range of extreme conditions right now.
Yeah, and people gathered today to celebrate the construction of a new neighborhood on the east side of Gainesville. The Heartwood neighborhood is finally buyer-ready after 10 years of planning. The neighborhood is located at 1717 Southeast 8th Avenue and consists of 34 single-family houses. 11 out of the 34 houses are now available only to buyers who qualify for the neighborhood's grant program. The Gainesville Community Reinvestment Area designed Heartwood to help those currently on the waiting list for public housing assistance. New Heartwood homeowner Antonio Stevenson says how grateful he is for the opportunity.
It's a dream because I'll be the first homeowner in my family, and it's a very big thing.
And search which lots are still available.
Now, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a campaign created to raise awareness on one of the most common type of cancers in women.
But new threats are discovered every day that can continue to put women at risk. Coming up, we'll see how a particular hair treatment might be linked to cancer.
You're watching Wuft-TV News.
Welcome back. In health news, a new study finds many Americans with diabetes are rationing their insulin to save money. The finding comes from the 2021 National Health Interview Survey conducted by the CDC. Nearly 1 in 5 adults with diabetes either skip, delay, or use less insulin than needed in order to save on costs. Young adults and the uninsured are the groups most likely to ration their medication. Seniors are less likely to ration, and a new law caps the Medicare cost of insulin at $35 per month supply.
Women who use chemicals to straighten their hair often might be at risk for developing uterine cancer. CNN's Health Minute Mandy Gaither tells us more about the data.
It's a popular way to straighten hair, but chemicals and relaxers may increase uterine cancer risk over time.
These products can contain a lot of different chemicals of concern.
Alexandra White is lead author of a new National Institutes of Health study which followed more than 33,000 women for nearly 11 years.
Women who reported using chemical straighteners or relaxers had about a twofold higher risk of going on to develop uterine cancer.
White says that estimate is for those who reported using the products more than 4 times in the previous year. A majority of those who reported using straightener in the study are Black women. In 2022, the American Cancer Society estimates there will be nearly 66,000 new uterine cancer cases in the U.S., and mortality rates from the disease are rising, particularly among Black women.
So these chemicals are placed on your scalp and they can be absorbed into your bloodstream, and then they circulate throughout your body.
In another study, the same researchers found that permanent hair dye and straighteners may also increase breast and ovarian cancer risk.
You know, a number of factors can influence a woman's risk to go on to develop cancer, but this is one potential source of exposure to chemicals and potentially carcinogens that women could be aware of and could make choices to not use these products.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
This coming Saturday will bring the annual walk by the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. The Gainesville event will be at Celebration Point starting at 8 a.m. with the actual walk at 9 a.m. You can visit the Pink Out Zone for beads, pink hairspray, and more. The Wall of Hope will let you post a personal tribute to someone who has or is battling breast cancer.
Kennedy, I was so excited to feel a breeze this morning after I was dripping in sweat yesterday.
Yeah, I know, me too. I am so excited for this cool weather.
Yes.
And I'm really hoping that these nice temperatures we're feeling are gonna stay, last.
Me too, me too.
WFT's Derrah Getter has more on what we can expect. Derrah?
A passing cold front is prompting freeze warnings in the Panhandle. I'll have the details on how cold it could get closer to Gainesville coming up next.
You're watching Wuft-TV News.
Temperatures across our area are in the low 70s right now. 73 in Gainesville, 74 in Newberry, and 73 in Alachua. Over the next 24 hours, we've seen about a 10 degrees difference in temperature on average across North Florida. Temperatures dropped 10 degrees in Gainesville, Stark, and High Springs. They dropped about 7 degrees in Ocala and minus 12 degrees in Lake City. Right now, outside of our studios, mostly cloudy skies. You can see overcast skies out there. It feels like 72 degrees, and over the next couple of hours, we're on a steady decline. Our overnight low tonight is going to be in the 40s, 42 in Gainesville, 41 in Alachua, and 41 in Brooker as we head further south, warming up just a little bit. 44 in Ocala, 44 in Bellevue, and almost 50 in the Villages. It's going to feel a little bit cooler after we factor in the wind chill early tomorrow morning. This is Wednesday at 7 a.m. 38 is how it's going to feel in Gainesville. It's going to feel like 35 in Stark and 36 in High Springs. As you wake up tomorrow morning, you might want to leave some extra time to get your car warmed up. It's It's going to be 42 in Gainesville, 45 in Palatka, and 41 in Stark. Partly cloudy skies Wednesday morning, and as we continue on through the afternoon, lots of sunshine into the evening with the light breeze picking up just like it did this afternoon today. High temperatures on Wednesday not even making it to the 70s yet. 66 in Gainesville, 67 in Ocala, and 65 in Stark. Over the next couple of days, we're going to be seeing a steady increase in temperatures as we're not forecasting any more rain or cold fronts to keep our temperatures cooled. So we're going to be returning back to normal next week. Back to you.
Thanks, Derrah. From a great season last year to a mid-ranking in the SEC, Florida's women's basketball team dropped 6th in the preseason polls.
That's right, Alexus. They already started practice and they hope to improve their placement for later in the season. DJ McCathran tells us about how the rankings and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm DJ McCathran. SEC Media Days kicked off today for women's basketball. The Gators are ranked 6th in the SEC preseason media poll. The Gators are coming off of their best season since the 2015-16 campaign. Last year, they tied for 4th in the SEC. Florida ended their season with 21 wins and 11 losses. However, this season is going to look very different. UF has a new starting lineup that will need to prove themselves all over again. The Gators have an exhibition game scheduled with St. Leo on November 2nd. Staying on the hardwood, Gator men's basketball practice continues. We are now 20 days away from tip-off, and assistant coach Corey McCray is optimistic about the team.
Leadership is so special about this team that we're together. We got great energy. Everybody works hard every single day. Everybody right now has great attitudes. But eventually we do have to divvy out playing time, and we definitely have a lot of depth. And you know, I think at this level, guys just got to fight it out.
A new designer bag will chip away a small portion from your savings. If you're a fan of Lay's chips, Balenciaga's new bag is just for you. Earlier this month, models debuted the Lay's bag at the Mud Show in Paris. The gloss leather bag sells for $1,800. Whew. If that's too many chips, there's a knockoff online that sells for less than $4. It's a good thing.
Now before we go, let's take one last check on the weather.
Partly cloudy skies this evening, and we'll feel a light breeze picking up later on tonight. Overnight skies are going to be mostly clear. The rest of this week, we're going to be seeing a warming trend in our temperatures. We're not forecasting any more cold fronts or rain to keep our temperatures cool. So it looks like we're going to be returning back to normal next week. Back to you.
Thanks, Derrah. BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.